UFC Fight Night Sterling versus Zalal takes place this week, and I figure we go ahead and do our main card predictions here. Again, not a great one, but these fights will deliver. If you know, you know. Let's go ahead and jump right in with the early opener of Marcus Buchecha versus Ryan Spann. Now, this is honestly quite a tough one because when you look at, let's just talk about Ryan Spann first because the dude's been here longer. So, obviously, he's a bit hit or miss. He loses to the best, but somehow he beats guys like Reyes, amongst other ones. He's got power. 23-11, not great. He's kind of not even kind of. He is what a journeyman is, but he's a big dude and he can crack. And I think all it takes is one. And I wouldn't be as confident in him if you showed me these numbers if I didn't know that his opponent was Marcus Buchecha. Because if you don't know Marcus Buchecha, I'm a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu guy, so I know Buchecha. The dude's like a multiple-time IBJJF world champion. He's more so a no-gi or a gi guy, which I'm not, but like still I know him. He's a very accomplished grappler. But he wasn't able to implement any of that in his debut. I don't know if he got that most recent fight draw in his first or if he's had a second fight in the UFC. I think he lost his first one. It might have been a draw. Either way, he has not been able to come to the UFC and do the things that we thought he'd be able to do. We thought he would implement his grappling. He's a heavyweight that's like toned as fuck. Like, you don't see that too often, but apparently not. And while Ryan Spann may be the guy that he's able to wet blanket, it's tough because Ryan Spann has power and Buchecha gets the landed on. That's the thing. Absorb per minute 2 strikes. I understand that's less than Spann, but Spann's 2 strikes have a way bigger chance of putting you out than Buchecha. Now here's the grappling. His takedown defense is hit or miss, but he also doesn't really get. That's the thing. Jiu-Jitsu guys aren't exactly strong takedown artists. A lot of them don't have a wrestling background. And then that just leads them to having ground ability, but no actual positional control ability. I think I'm going to take Ryan Spann on this one. I think Buchecha is going to try to get his grappling off, and if Spann has an ounce of takedown defense and grappling IQ, he'll survive. And I don't think Buchecha is going to have the striking, have the range, have the frame to hurt him. I think Spann, same size, but few inches taller, few inches more reach. He's probably going to use his range and hit Buchecha with some big shots on the outside and maybe bust him up in the clinch when Buchecha comes in for stuff like that. So we're taking Spann probably by KO, but could go to decision. I'm not going to pick around. We move on. Montel Jackson versus Raoni Barcelos. Montel Jackson, obviously, proven guy. He is coming off of a loss. Who did he lose to last? I don't remember. But he's still a pretty young guy in his career. He's looked good, 15-3. You know, he's a slick striker, long, uses his range. Has a good bit of grappling, too, in the background. And when you look at Raoni Barcelos, you go, who is this old guy? You know, he's got decent numbers, but the dude's old. He seems to be a little less successful than Montel Jackson. He's a bit of a journeyman when you compare it. Not really, but I'm actually going to go against the grain here. I understand that Barcelos has an insane reach disadvantage. And here's the thing. This 100% could be Montel Jackson sniping Barcelos from range. But I'm buying into Barcelos' last performances, man. The dude has put it on. I don't care if he's an underdog. He beat Peyton Talbot, who, if you go check my Twitter, like, just beat the shit out of Henry Cejudo a few months ago. That's still crazy to think about. Who also came back and looked improved in his grappling against that, was it? It was like some Brazilian or like Swedish guy. It was some blonde. But Raoni Barcelos is underrated, man. The guy's got really good takedowns. He was able to keep Cody Garbrandt on his ass. I don't think he finished Cody Garbrandt, but he was able to completely dominate him. Despite the numbers here, I mean, Barcelos gets it done. He's a way more hardened veteran fighter. He's been knocked out before. He's taken losses. He's had to work for it, and I think that he's probably just going to outdog Montel Jackson here. I really do think that despite Montel having, you know, good range, good striking, I think if Barcelos can get close, clinch in, maybe wrestle for the first round, take some of that sting off of Jackson's punches, we're probably going to see a crafty Raoni Barcelos decision. We move on to Davey Grant versus Adrian Luna Martinetti. This is a tough one, bro. This is also a very tough. There's a few on this card. Davey Grant is an experienced guy, man. He's a very experienced guy. He's got some crazy good knockouts, but he's very much a journeyman, and his opponent is very much a young, hungry up-and-comer. God. It's tough, man. Because that's the thing, though, is Martinetti's got crazy strikes too, and he has grappling in his back pocket. I just think he's going to be more well-rounded than Davey Grant. Davy's crafty. He can find a shot or maybe just outdog him over the rounds and show him levels. But I think Adrian is hungry. He's up and coming. I've seen a lot of prospect highlights on him, and I think I'm going to take him to win this. Now, I wish you could see lose by because obviously Davy Grant, he's a bit older, but he seems to be quite durable. But I can see Martinetti getting a finish here. It's tough. This one's kind of iffy, but young, hungry, up-and-comer, relatively the same size. Hold on, excuse me. Sorry, I felt that sneeze coming on, so I was kind of having to slow down. But I think Adrian's just more well-rounded. He wants it. I think Davy Grant is a great test for him. He is older, but he's always going to be a challenge for people. He puts people out. But we're going to trust in the expertise of Martinetti. I think he's looked good on the come-up. I think he's promising. Was he on Dana White Contender Series or Road to? I'm not sure. But we're taking that. Dude, another one. Hold on. Yeah. This spring weather don't play over here. But we're taking Martinetti win by decision. We move on. Rafa Garcia versus Alexander Hernandez. It's a tough one. Rafa Garcia is decent. I remember watching his last fight. I don't remember if I was like rooting for him or kind of going against him because of how he won. Who was his last fight? I need to see this because this is kind of going to change how I think here. Gordon? Did he TKO him? Or did he like signature headbutt him? He did TKO him. Damn. But Vince Piquel, he lost to Dawson? We're taking motherfucking Alexander Hernandez, bro. I don't care how good that most recent win of Rafa Garcia was with Jared Gordon. Something in the back of my mind was telling me that was kind of a dirty fight. I don't know why. Alexander Hernandez won his last fight when I thought he was going to lose, and he looked a lot more improved. I think he got a KO. Dude's got crazy high output. You know, he's a bat out of hell in that first round there. He's going to put power on Garcia, and Garcia does get tired. He does wilt, and he does engage in brawls. And I think Alexander Hernandez, despite being able to be taken down, is going to be able to stuff some of the initial attempts of Garcia. If Garcia gets him down, I think Alexander Hernandez has the ability to get back up. But I just think the KO ability 100% favors Hernandez. He's going to be way more aggressive. Rafa's going to be trying to like find openings for the takedown, and Hernandez is just going to be wary and keep damaging him at range. I could see him pushing him up against the cage, making him faint, shoot for a takedown, and then punishing him with nasty, just strikes from wherever. So we're going to take Alexander Hernandez to win. I don't know if he's going to get a KO here. Rafa Garcia is a very durable guy, so we'll say decision. We move on to the co-main event. Jesus Christ. Norma Dumont versus Jocelyn Edwards. God. Didn't Jocelyn Edwards just fight? I don't even know, bro. But Jocelyn Edwards, obviously, pretty good, pretty aggressive. She's got finishes. She's got high output. I just think Norma Dumont's too experienced for her, man. Could Edwards get this done and break into, the top, light? I think so. But, the decisionator is here, buddy. And you're not getting the finish. I don't know. I think Norma Dumont's probably going to use her grappling, use crafty movement, strikes, frustrating on the outside. She's probably going to slow it down to her pace. Because Jocelyn Edwards is a very fast fighter. She's explosive. She looks for the kill. Very entertaining. But I think Norma Dumont is probably going to try to snake charm her, slow her down, make her fight, and just frustrate her over 3 rounds. And if there's a finish in this fight on the side of Norma Dumont, that'd be absolutely insane. So we're taking Norma Dumont by decision. What a co-main, folks. We move on to the main event of the evening. Aljamain Sterling, the human backpack, the former 135 champion, versus, what's his name? The Moroccan Devil? Yusuf Zalal. I think that's his nickname. Who is up and coming. I think he's coming off of a win over, it wasn't, who was it? It wasn't Emmett. Emmett was his last fight? It's been 6 months. 6 or 7 months. This kind of leads into my pick, though. I'm not going to lie. If you can see these 3 names, bro. Jack Shore, 2025 Cater, and Emmett. Not exactly a resume I'm confident in when going against Aljamain fucking Sterling. I was just on Twitter talking about how I don't think... It wasn't really my idea. or I don't know. He thought he'd be considered. Anyway, I was talking on Twitter about how maybe Aljamain's wins don't have the most credit. There's some asterisks to them, which sucks because like they are good names, like Dillashaw, Cejudo, um, amongst other people, right? But at the time he took those fights and at the quality of his opponents, they didn't hold up as well. So that's kind of got me questioning my pick here. And Yusuf Zalal could break into the mix here. He looked good over Emmett, got that sub early, but Emmett is very dumb. And if you have good subs, I feel like you could catch him. Zalal is a very lanky guy. He's got 3 inches of height on Sterling. He's going to try to latch up submissions from bottom position. But I think Sterling's too fundamentally put together grappling-wise. I think on the feet, maybe Zalal could confuse him. I think Sterling still got decent striking, but if Zalal tries to run the whole fight like he did in his recent one, not that one, the one before that, I think Sterling's probably going to cut off the cage, find the takedown, push him up against the cage, grind him out there. I think from there, he'll probably drag him down to the mat, start to work his grappling game. And I just think it's going to be too much for Zalal. The human backpack is relentless. And this guy made it razor close with Evloev, who has some of the best wrestling at 45. So I think even if Zalal's winning on the feet, Sterling's going to find that wrestling, going to find that clinch, and probably slow Zalal down to his pace of fight and show him championship experience over 5 rounds. So we're taking Aljamain Sterling. Do I see a finish? Zalal's very tough, man. He has given, Topuria a tough time. Topuria was like fading in the third, I think. He's a tough match for anyone, so I don't know if I see a finish here, but I definitely think the championship round experience and just knowledge is going to come through for Aljamain Sterling. I think if he works his grappling in the way that he should, Zalal will not be able to contend with it. But if he makes mistakes that let Zalal get out, let Zalal look for subs or maybe escape ground position and then just play at range, this could be a problem for him. So I'm really hoping Aljamain pulls through here. I get if you're buying into the hype of Yusuf Zalal, but we're going to trust in the consistency and the resume that is Aljamain Sterling. Let me know who y'all are picking for this one. If you're picking Yusuf, let me know what aspect of his game has really got you convinced that he can beat a guy like Sterling. I just couldn't find anything that would tip me over the edge. But this is anyone's fight to win, truly. Like, this is Zalal's chance to break into it. And Sterling is towards the end of his career, not in terms of he's washed, but in terms of, like, this is kind of it, man. Like, you got to show these young up-and-comers that you want it to get that 45 shot, or you're kind of just going to fade into the background for good, because he's already started to fade. He was calling for title shots after the Ortega win, but I digress. Good main event. I'm hyped for it. Let me know who y'all think is going to win. Like, comment, share, subscribe, and that's it. See ya.